All right, so good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to our Freshers Q&A session, and essentially what this is aimed at doing is providing some answers for some of those early questions that you may have. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that initially when we asked, freshers, what would be your questions for this session, many of you said you guys have answered so many of our questions already. I'm not sure what else I can ask at this point, but we've prodded you a little bit, and some persons sent it on Instagram, some persons DM different representatives on our committee, and we're very, very grateful for all the questions that have come in, and we're seeking to go through as many as possible. So right now, I'm about to introduce one of our associate deans. So two of our associate deans should be joining us today. One of them is having a little bit of internet problems now. So we're going to allow Dr. Winklet Gallimore to come in first. So she's going to introduce herself, speak a little bit about her portfolio and what you as incoming freshers can expect from her. So without further ado, let's let Dr. Winklet Gallimore on now. You're on, Dr. Gallimore.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much, Ms. Mullings, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share with students this afternoon, students coming into the UWMONA campus. So I am the Associate Dean for the Student Experience, and my role really is to help students have a great experience. The truth of the matter is that this is a new era that we're all in. So there's so much that we all have to be learning, and so many areas in which we're going to be having to grow as the role evolves, really and truly. And so I have been involved in this role for two years so far. And one of the programs that I'm very involved with, been a part of, is what we call the holistic development program. So the truth of the matter is that yes, you're going to learn about the chemistry, you're going to learn about the biology and all of these wonderful things, but there are also other life lessons that one has to take away from the university experience. And part of the purpose of this holistic development program is to help students to learn about other areas of life, about finances, about emotional intelligence. All of these other factors do come into play when you consider your university experience. So that is what I've been involved with, and we're open and willing to help students in whatever area it is that they need assistance. We have a mentorship program as well, and on other things that we're involved with to help students to grow and change.
All right, we love to hear that. I see a comment from Niall Anderson saying, Faculty of Greatness, indeed, the one and only Faculty of Science and Technology. What Dr. Gallimore just alluded to was that there are many programs in place to assist students as you make this transition, and the most notable of which would be the mentorship program, which we may speak about later. But I'm going to just quickly introduce myself and my portfolio. So my name is Danielle Mullings, and I'm the president for the FST's Guild Committee, which essentially means that students can come to anyone on my team, really, if you're having issues, any problems that you'd like to address, maybe something going on with a lecturer, etc. But we're the point persons between administration and students. And we work very closely with Dr. Gallimore to ensure that the student experience is getting better day by day and making the necessary improvements that we can make. So we look forward to working with you in the Faculty of Greatness. Now, Dr. James Williamson will be joining us later on. So I'm going to go to some of the questions that were submitted that Dr. Gallimore and I can go through. So the first one is, what kind of activities can students get involved in? So I'll let you go, Dr. Gallimore.
Okay, so we have a whole host of clubs and societies, and through those clubs and societies, you can get involved. So we have the Chemistry Society and many other, physics, etc., and electronics engineering. So there's a whole list of clubs and societies that are associated with the Faculty of Science and Technology that persons can plug into and get involved with. So these meetings tend to give more practical advice in terms of not only your program, but in terms of what happens after your program is done. What are some of the job opportunities? So we have persons from different industries coming in and speaking to students concerning these different aspects of the university experience and what will happen when university is done. So there are the whole host of clubs and societies. In the math, of course, we have the actuarial sciences. And so there, as I said, it's a whole host of opportunities to learn and grow.
All right, and I would completely agree with that. And to add, some of you may be interested in student leadership. There will be positions open on the Guild Committee and the subcommittees for especially first-year representatives for each of the departments, as well as there are different ways to get involved in the clubs themselves. So maybe you want to be, a little PRO here or help this committee. But I think one thing that's important is to create those opportunities that you want to see. You know what I mean? So if you want to get involved in the club, go and talk to the president or the PRO or whomever you can and say, hey, I would like to help in XYZ way and create those opportunities for yourself. All right. Next one says, I'm concerned about when moving into the halls will be and what classes online will be like. So maybe you can speak to some of what that online experience is like from the admin perspective, Dr. Gallimore.
Okay, not a problem. So as it relates to the online classes, I was actually just in a discussion with a colleague a while ago. The truth of the matter is that it is an adjustment. Yes, you're used to the face-to-face and there is an adjustment. And so, of course, because of COVID-19, this last semester, we've had to jump on online modality. And it has been, people have had different types of feedback related to the experience. But the truth of the matter is, when we have lime, we have to make lemonade. And in essence, that is what we have been able to do. And I personally, so I did teach a part of the chemistry course. I'm in the chemistry department, actually. And I taught a part of the chemistry course online during these past couple of weeks. And the truth is, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm very much in-person, high-touch type of an individual. But there are advantages to the online modality. And so it's going to be an adjustment. And so we're just going to have to do the best that we can under the circumstances. Of course, for labs, we are still in the process of figuring out how we're going to work through the lab scenario, but obviously we have to consider the social distancing and all of those parameters. And so we will be having that in place. We will be sorting it out, finalizing how we're going to actually work that through. But we're going to have that. We're going to have labs. We will have some labs that maybe, you just get data, and from the data, you can arrive at conclusions concerning the different experiments. But by and large, we will have to have some in-person interaction where that is concerned. So be prepared for that. And we will, as we have more information, we're going to pass it on to you guys. All right. There was a question about the halls of residence, when to get on hall. Was that a question, Danielle?
Yes. So they said that they're concerned about moving into halls and like how
Danielle?
that will work.
That was in terms of time to get on hall. Okay. Okay. All right. So the truth of the matter is that we still, well, up to the last meeting that I was a part of, a final conclusion conclusion was not arrived at as to when students would move on to the halls of residence and how that would actually play out. So that is also still a work in progress. We're still trying to sort out how that's going to work, because we are aware of the increased risk that would be associated with living in a small on a hall of residence. One of the good things is that many of the halls actually have single rooms. So with a single room scenario, you do have some level of control over your specific space, but obviously, so on some of the halls of residence, for example, the Rexon Netherford Hall, you have 4 rooms and persons share the bathroom facilities and share the kitchen facilities. So under those circumstances, of course, the requisite stipulations would have to be put in place concerning how we conduct ourselves in that type of a space to limit the spread of the virus. So it's all
Right.
a work
And
in
I think
progress. All a
that's
work
a
in
big
progress.
question that many persons had, and so I really thank you for answering that. The reality is that the ideas are being worked on for how we can best do it. So nothing is, set in stone as yet. But what Dr. Gallimore just gave you are some of the suggestions for how we can move forward and what they're looking at, the options being decided on. Right now, I'm going to introduce Dr. Shireen James Williamson, and she's another associate dean. Let me just put her up on screen. All right, hello, Dr. James Williamson.
Hi, everybody.
You can introduce yourself, let them know who you are, what comes under your portfolio, and what they can expect from you.
Right. So I'm the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Matters. That means I handle everything related to as far as academic counseling, overrides. I organize you with some registration issues, almost anything that impacts your academic life. I might or should be your first point of contact. There are undergraduate coordinators within the faculty who work along with me. They're in your individual departments. And we work together to ensure that you have a good academic experience. I am a geologist by training, so I teach geology. So if there are any geology students out there, you will meet me as your first lecturer. And we should have some fun, be it online or face to face.
All right, awesome.
I had some questions should I just start going through the questions, Danielle?
All right, yes. So I just want to make sure, can you hear me clearly?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. So I just switched cameras because they were telling me that it looks a little bit blurry. All right, cool. Thank you guys for telling me that, by the way. So you do have some questions, and I know the first one was just in regards to basically like how do you declare a major versus a minor? When is a good time to do that, and just general advice regarding that process.
Well, to be really honest, you have until the beginning of your very last semester to declare your major. I prefer particularly, and we prefer if students declare their major in their second year. If you weren't given an offer to, for example, an offer that says computer science or biochemistry, you will have to declare a major if your letter says general. We usually don't allow this to occur in the first year because the reason it's general is because your courses they're not all put together in a way for you to declare something yet. And so what we want you to be able to do is at the beginning of your second year, or I should say the beginning of your level 2 courses, you should declare your major. Once you go onto a specific portal within the university website and you would select what major you would like. And usually between myself and your undergraduate coordinators, those majors are then approved, provided you are doing the requisite courses, which is why some people usually wait until the end of second year to do it or the beginning of their third year. We have, we've developed in the past year something called a degree plan. And the degree plan enables you to be able to put all of your courses the ones that you're proposing to do for your entire degree. And I will send that link to Danielle in a little while so she can share that with everybody. And that way you will be able to, at least while you're preparing to go into university, you can put that document together. If you need advice, you can always send it into us, into the faculty office, and we can look at it and talk to you some more about it.
So that degree plan sounds like it would be extremely beneficial for students,
Right.
just because it helps you kind of create a roadmap of how you're going to achieve this degree. And
It
I
no.
think that leads into another question that a student asked. He says he'd like to do a double major with AXI and math, and then minor in linguistics. Would you recommend that?
All right. So first things first, if you're doing actuarial science, you have absolutely no
Yeah,
place
no
in your
time.
timetable for breeze. Let's just say,
Mhm.
right? So to try to do a double major with AXI and something else, AXI in itself is a program. So all the courses within actuarial science, they're already prescribed. Everything is packaged together for an actuarial science degree. Now, if you wanted to do mathematics and something, that's possible. You could do mathematics and linguistics. You could do mathematics and archaeology. You could do mathematics with anything. But if you decide to do a double major, usually I don't want to say we discourage it, but some people don't realize what they're getting into. When you decide to do a double major, you are giving yourself minimum an additional year in the university. So if you have enough funding to come here for 3 years, if you decide to do a double major, because of the nature of the courses, the way they are timetabled and the sheer workload, you would not be able to do all of that within a 3 year span, particularly as well because there are minimum requirements in terms of your credit limit for each academic year. And so you wouldn't be able to blow that over and take like, you know, 30 credits per semester because it's just impossible to do. And so you add minimum another year to your study.
Yeah, agree. So what you're saying, I see our vice president, Savannah Grant, agreeing. She's also an AXI major. I'm just gonna feature her comment real quick. So she says, true, exactly what Dr. James Williamson is saying. And she says a double major with AXI is crazy because of the time limit and the time constraints.
Yeah,
So she
yeah,
says, just come to us. The family is ready and waiting. And AXI is a big family for
yeah,
real. So completely second that.
absolutely.
I wanted to answer this question, and I'm going to bring back Dr. Gallimore on screen as well because I'd love to hear her response to it. So let me add her back. And the question is, what do you think it takes to be successful in first year as a fresher?
Well, I could go first. I think the most important thing is to
Okay.
get settled quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Get settled quickly. How do we get settled quickly? We need to go through the process of our academic counseling. If you can start having discussions, start looking at the handbook, discussing with other persons, just the sheer preparation alone to get into university is a hurdle in itself. So once you can get over that and get settled quickly, we need to also have persons familiarize themselves with your course outlines once they're available. Once you start to see your course outlines, you start to look at the textbooks that are available. You start to look at the readings and the lectures. If you can get yourself into a pattern of reading ahead, or at least keeping up, you can have a successful first year. And I would suggest as well to get the finances sorted out early. I know it's hard to say that because we wait on student loan and we wait on other things to fall into place. Maybe your scholarship hasn't been paid through and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some basic things that regarding the money part of things that completely stresses students out, especially when it's coming close to mid-semester and you have some issues there. So I would suggest try as best as possible. If it is that you're going to arrange a payment plan with the university, do it early. Don't wait until it's too late. Get all the information that you can now regarding payment plans and organizing your finances early so you're not spending time trying to figure that out when you just want to get your courses done. Keep up with the work, and if you ever experience any difficulties, speak to somebody. Do not wait until you are completely overwhelmed. The learning curve in university is different from high school. The learning curve in university is steeper than high school. The learning curve in university is self-directed, and so you need to be able to function. And if you find yourself not functioning well, not keeping up, find somebody to talk to. You can talk to any of the three of us that are here. In fact, this is where I'll stop and let Dr. Gallimore pick up, because this is exactly where she comes in.
All right, Dr. Gallimore.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Williamson, James Williamson. You said a whole lot of, you've given them a whole lot of good information. One thing that I would also emphasize is speak with other people. You know, don't feel like you're in a silo by yourself. You know, other persons are going through some of the challenges that you may be going through. So interface with other people. One of the things that happens, you know, sometimes, you know, there's a course test or there's an exam, and you are the one who's in the dark as to what is happening around you. You know, you need to establish relationships with other people. Now, you're not going to depend on them to tell you when there's a course test. But the fact of the matter is that you have to have that sense of community, develop that sense of community, you know. So that establishment of alliances with people is very, very important. You're going to have to manage your time. You know, you can't be chilling on the corridor morning, noon, and night. Go to your classes. That is absolutely critical. Don't, and even if they're in an online modality, don't miss your class and say, well, you know, I can do it tomorrow. You know, you have to have that. I tell students all the time that your job is to go to school. That's your job. And so you need to do your job well. And so the concept of, you know, sculling a class because your friend is sculling a class really doesn't work very well. You will not be in a good position. Also, it's important to get to know the persons who are your lecturers, you know. And as I said, this is an online, it's likely to be an online modality, but do that nonetheless, you know, because if you just are a part of the crowd, when it comes time for persons writing a recommendation, for example, that's not going to happen because they don't have a clue who you are, you know. So it's important to get to know the persons who are aligned to you, you know, the demonstrators in the lab. Strike up conversations with them. Don't be so, there's nothing to fear. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. You know, we're all human beings. And so the idea is that we must be there to support each other and expect that your lecturers are on your side. Don't ever come with the impression that, boy, them just want to fail me. Hello, there is no joy to us in having a student or students fail a course. No joy, you know. And so our job is to help you to succeed in whatever it is that you want to succeed in. All right, start working from day one. Don't be among those who go to where we have this part of the section on the campus, section close by us, as we call Laguna Beach. And, you know, you don't want to be there playing dominoes and hello, you are here. Your job is to go to school. And so you have to be very focused on getting that done. And in the midst of that, there's a lot of things to enjoy, you know, that with what the clubs and societies and many other things. There are those things to enjoy. But recognize your main job is to go to school and to get this and to get the work done. So you have to manage your time. Stress is likely to happen, you know, especially when it comes down to the end of the semester and you have a million and one things due. But you have to manage your time from day one, as I said before, and manage your stress. We have a counseling unit in the event that you're having any challenges of a personal nature. And as of course, you can also come and have a conversation with me. And if it's something that, you know, is outside of my realm, that I can refer you to the counseling unit. And so we can talk about on the campus. There's nothing wrong with being in a position where you need help. All of us, we are created for community. And so we also have to recognize that we have to be here to help each other. All right, so those are some of the things that I would say.
All right, so it looks like Dr. Gallimore chipped out a little bit, but that's completely fine. So here we have them saying, love that, Dr. Gallimore, no joy in failure, period. Someone asked here, will students be continuing classes online come September? Dr. Gallimore did speak to a little bit of this earlier. She was saying that it's likely to be an online modality, but they're still assessing the different options before like a final release is made. But of course, some courses in SciTech do have like labs and so on, and they're looking at how will that fully be done. But what I'll do is bring on Dr. James Williamson just to speak really quickly to that from her perspective. The student is asking, will students be continuing classes online come September?
Well, it really is too soon to tell. We have a little bit more time to go, and I think we have to assess what's also happening in the wider Caribbean, the wider region. So we have students who come from other places outside of the Caribbean region, and it's very important for us to think of that. Some people can't travel in or out of some countries, and if you can imagine, people have to basically stop in other airports and so on. So all of that has to be figured in, and for us to be able to decide. And we haven't received any communication that would suggest that we're going to be face to face. But we are in preparation mode now for an online modality should face to face not be possible. So I don't think people should worry too much. The information will come out shortly, and when it does, we are not going to be any way less, or we would be able to function just the same.
All right, thank you so much for that. I know you have a meeting soon, so I'm going to go through some more of these academic questions. A student said he was accepted for computer science, Bachelor of Science at the UA for a 4 years course, preliminary year included.
Right.
The reason for this is because he will not be going into upper six. So he would like to know if it's possible for the preliminary year to be deducted, resulting in a normal 3-year computer science program.
Okay, well, what has happened for this particular student is that he has swapped out sixth form. He has decided he doesn't want sixth form, but sixth form and CAPE unit, 2 units of CAPE is the minimum requirement to get into the university. And as such, deciding not to do 1 unit of your CAPE means you have to do our matriculation type program, which is our prelim. So he must do prelim year. It doesn't affect your type of degree. It doesn't affect anything really other than your pocket. It's just that you'll have to spend another year. Had I been able to talk to you before you applied to university, I would have suggested to stay in your sixth form and complete that 2nd unit of your CAPE courses, simply because it is relatively cheaper than coming into university for an additional year. But since you are here, welcome. And we can't cancel it out. You need it. Otherwise, you can't go to level 1, which is where the actual degree starts. So when you come in, even if you are able to do, like some people are able to do, 1 level 1 course, you can't leave the preliminary year courses behind. Otherwise, when you've finished your degree, or at least you think you've finished, and you're at the end of the stage and you say, oh, I'm going to get my degree, somebody says, draw brakes right there. You haven't actually matriculated into 1st year. You have to do prelim courses. You don't want after 3 years to have to go back and do something in prelim. So let's just do it right from the beginning. Let's do the prelim courses, matriculate into level 1, and slowly get up to the end of your degree. That's the best advice.
Very important point, because if we're looking at the cost of going to university for a year, to do the prelim courses either way versus completing sixth form, completing sixth form would be the cheaper option, right? Of course, persons have different reasons for going either route, but we're saying that it would be cheaper to do that. So if there are any future FST students here and watching the live, the recommendation would be to finish your CAPE subjects at your high school and then come into the first year of whichever degree program you'd like to do. So thank you for that. And let's move on to the next question. Someone is asking, what is the difference between majoring in a subject such as computer science or chemistry, whichever one, versus a Bachelor of Science in that degree? Because there is a difference in the handbook.
Yeah. All right. So some programs, well, how do you say? Some programs are programs. So you have, within the context of your degree, there are programs and there are majors and minors. Some programs are what we like to call options, and they are prescribed. So all the courses you must do, all the everything has been slated out for you. You just need to register for them, take them. When you've finished all of them, you get your degree. In terms of the computer science example, since it was so specific, what we have is we have a program in computer science. It says BSc in computer science, but it allows, that program allows for you to do cross-faculty courses. So there are courses from the social sciences, management studies and economics and so on. And there are courses that are cross-departmental because there are courses from the Department of Mathematics. So then you have a blend of computing, the management, and the mathematics. So it gives you a broader breadth of the work as well as a deeper depth of the work, if I may say it like that. With regards to the major in computer science now, that takes you into a realm where you are doing core courses in computer science. And those core courses are only computer science related courses. They don't have any management, anything. You can attach those if you like. So one of the things that was done when you create an option or a program is to allow for a student to be able to unimpeded take a bunch of these courses together without all of the theatrics and the jumping through hoops. So it was realized that students wanted to take management studies courses and they wanted to take courses in mathematics. So we married them all together, made a nice happy family, and allow you to wholeheartedly take them.
So the difference you're saying, wait, repeat it one more time for them. So
the difference is that the BSc is a full program that has all the courses prescribed from cross-faculty and cross-departmental, while the computer science major only consists of courses in the Department of Computing, and they are core courses in computer science.
Gotcha.
So I hope that's clear.
The major would give you a little bit more room to customize what you add on to it.
Right. So the person who was thinking of linguistics, you might want to create a program or software that does, I don't know, Spanish, French, and Japanese. And so you want to have a handle on languages. You could do another major or a minor, depending on how the courses are arranged, between linguistics and computer science or something like that.
All right, thank you. So the last question for you before we go back to Dr. Gallimore is it possible to do courses inside tech part-time while working?
All right. So in the Faculty of Science and Technology, we don't have part-time programs. We don't have part-time, almost no part-time anything.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, the way part-time is defined or described within the context of the University of the West Indies is a per credit idea. So full-time students would take 15 credits, well, greater than 12 credits in any one semester. A part-time student would take 12 credits or less. Now, 12 credits, for those who are not so au fait with the terminology, that would be, let's say, 4 3-credit courses that you would take per semester, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you are going to take courses and go to work, you will have to arrange with your employer, because your labs, if you do a lab-based course, might be during the day from 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock one morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's not like you can do a lab from 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night. We don't have that kind of scenario. particularly because, well, some of our labs, we need light, natural light, not, fluorescent lamps or anything. The other thing is we don't have a situation where you can do classes in the evenings. There are classes that occur and they end by about 6 o'clock, maybe a tutorial or something that ends that late, but it is not because it is part-time. It is just when it is scheduled.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that gives persons a very comprehensive view at it. I do have friends that work part-time, but they're still full-time students. What they do is just arrange their schedule in such a way that they can, and also speak with your boss that you can
Yeah,
manage a schedule that is
absolutely.
sustainable, because you don't want it to just be for 1 week and then the next week,
That's
as
right.
well as you want to be intentional around planning around exam time and mid semester's time, because you need that focus for your academics. That's always going to be first and
Right.
foremost.
But Danielle, in the same way that a part-time job doesn't mean that you go at night,
Mm-hmm.
it's just flexible.
Yeah.
So there are options. For example, some lectures are repeated in some courses, like chemistry. You have repeat lectures at
Mm-hmm.
level 1 and at the prelim level, but it doesn't pertain when you get to second, level 2 and level 3. And so what might happen with you and your employer in your first year or your preliminary year may not be that possible as you go further
Yes.
up.
All
And
right.
one of the
Very.
other things I should mention is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
students go and study and travel during the summertime. These are things that they need to stop and think about, in terms of when courses are offered. Some courses have summer modules. Some courses have field classes that occur during the summertime. So they
Mm-hmm.
have to appreciate what their program requires. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to send you the degree plan. A link to
Mm-hmm.
the I'll email it to you and you can send it out a little later.
No problem.
Plan, um, and the handbook. Even though you can find it on the website, I'm going to send the link for it, so people can actually access and look at it. It's the 2019-2020, because the 2020-2021 has not been uploaded, but the
Mm-hmm.
information shouldn't vary by a lot,
All
right?
right. So the information then, once I get it from Dr. James Williamson, I'll share it in our WhatsApp and Telegram group chats. If anyone is watching and you're not a part of the group chat, you can just DM us on Instagram. Let me put up our Instagram here. All right, cool. So just DM us on Instagram and we will send you the link and you're free to join. I have one more question for you, because I see a student asked it and I think it'd be good. Akira Foster is asking, for persons that got the general acceptance for SciTech, why does the program last for 4 years and not for 3?
I would need a little bit more information on that, because we give general. The thing is, when people apply to the university, they usually make several options.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, we have a student who has Cape Geography, uh, and let's say Cape Geography and Chemistry and Physics at with 2 units. They apply into the university. They request biochemistry, general, and let's say medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say, for argument's sake, medicine rejects you, but you haven't you you have all of the material, but not enough to study biochemistry because you don't have Cape Bio. You have CSEC Bio. No, actually, CSEC Bio is okay for that. Let me find a different example. You want to do computing? All right, I think that works. But you have chemistry, geography, and physics, and you want to do computing, but you have 2 units of geography, but you have 1 unit of the others. Because you have 1 unit and you are waiting another one, you have a general option there. We will not tell you don't come to UE. We would give you a general offer
Mm-hmm.
while you are waiting to satisfy your other requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Once those come in, when you arrive into the university, you can, one, register for the courses that you want, and two, when you get to second year, you can declare a major for the computing that you want to. Right
So
now,
how would that work in our current dispensation? Because remember, some students, they're about to sit the unit 2 and they're waiting on those grades. Is
Right.
that a factor
We've
here?
been accepting people with only 1 unit of CAPE, and that is one of the reasons we give you a general, because the combination of some courses, the combination that some students have, then it's not what is required for what they have selected. And they've also selected a general option. So we give them the general offer, and that can change once they come in. I had a case I dealt with just a week ago where the student got a general offer. She has since obtained the passes, or I think she deferred or something, but she has since obtained the passes for the courses she wanted. And so we were able to upgrade that offer because her scholarship required her to state specifically what her program was going to be.
Got you.
So you get the general to ensure that you know you are accepted into university. And many of the students, when they apply to university, they select general because they're not sure what it is they want to come and study. Right?
Okay.
Especially because all the ducks are not yet in a row. So the general is not that we give it to you. Sometimes you ask for it and we say yes. And then once the time rolls in and all the grades roll in and everything is changed, it updates on the system and you can then choose whatever major you want at your second year.
Thank you so much. That has answered basically all the questions under your section. So thank you for providing that academic input. I see a student messaging in our group chat and saying thank you to the Guild Committee so far for helping us and counseling us thus far. You know, Dr. James Williamson, when we first told him that there's a Q&A session and we'll answer their questions, they were like, you guys have answered almost all of our questions already. What more can we ask for? So thank you so much for being here. I know you have a meeting to run to, so I'll allow you to go, and I'll get to Dr. Gallimore's question. So
let them
thank
know.
you again.
Feel free. I'm gonna put my email address in the chat, and if they have more questions, they can send them to me. And if they want to query anything, maybe they haven't received their acceptance letters, etc., they can send me a quick email, and I will respond to them.
All right, great. So what I'll do is also send it in. I'll ask one of my committee members, one of the PROs, can you please send her email in the Telegram and WhatsApp group chats? And let me just bring back up Dr. Gallimore now. All right, thank you, Dr.
All right,
James.
take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Gallimore. So before I go to your next question, Dr. Gallimore, because I see that the video is loading. I wanted to answer the question about what does it take to be successful in your first year. And I want to give you a student perspective, right? Because I am a first year student now that's going into second year in the coming academic semester, right? And I would say a lot of what helped me in first year was quickly finding like a tribe kind of, you know, like a group of people that are like-minded. And it's going to be difficult kind of in the first few weeks because you're like, oh my goodness. For me, I didn't know anybody. I maybe knew one or two persons in a year above me, but I didn't know anybody in my year group. And so the question for me was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to navigate this when I don't know anybody at all? You know what I mean? So it's a vibe where I think when you quickly get to know some persons around you, and it may seem difficult, but literally all you have to do is say hello. So what I started doing was, you know, I'd sit somewhere different in each class, and I'd just be like, hi, to the person beside me. If they give you a weird look, you know, say it's not them, I just continue and keep moving along. But if you see somebody else and you guys start, you know, having a vibe or making a connection there, just don't be afraid, basically, to say hi to different persons. And I think having that basis allows you to build and grow and have a community, as Dr. Gallimore said earlier, a community of persons that are like-minded and going towards the same academic and personal goals. All right. So I see Dr. Gallimore is back now, so I'm going to let her on. And another question. Hi, Dr. Gallimore. Another question that students had asked is they asked what is the difference, or what honor societies are available, and what's the difference between an honor society and the dean's list.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks, Danielle. I've been having some technical challenges, but let's see if
No
we can
problem.
make it to the end. Okay. So we have a couple of honor societies. We have the chemistry honor society and the physics honor society. Sure that there are others that are going to be coming on stream soon. So the honor society is something done by the specific department standing. They will be a part, they'll be invited to be a part of the honor society. And so for chemistry, for example, you have different levels. So if you've been a part of the honor society for 2, 3, 4 times, then you'll be in a gold category or a diamond category. So the category is based on the repeat performance, basically, because it's anyone can do something once. It takes that much more commitment to do something a second, third, and fourth time. And so that is breakfast, something like that, to really recognize excellence. So that's honor society. The dean's list now, that is something done by the Faculty of Science and Technology. And so you can get on the dean's list if your GPA is in the 3.6 bracket, etc. And that dean's list is a mark. It's a mark of excellence. It's a mark of progress that you've made. And so we really want persons to strive to become a part of these particular societies and to get on that dean's list, because, so some persons, if you do it for two consecutive semesters, then that is a different type of honor that you receive compared to if you did it for one semester. And so we have commendation letters that we issue to students because we know the challenges associated with excelling in the Faculty of Science and Technology. And so we really want to honor persons who have gone above and beyond to really excel in these areas. So we want the more the merrier. The thought that people have, that we want people to fail and all of these types of things. Absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. Our objective is to see you become the best version of yourself. And so we really, the honor society's concept was actually started by physics, and chemistry went right on board thereafter. Nice. Because we really want persons to recognize and to see that, and for it to be an example for others as well.
So Dr. Gallimore, let's have a conversation now as the students are asking about how to pay tuition as well as what scholarships are available. So we can kind of have a conversation about funding your university experience. I'm not sure.
Okay, so in terms of funding, we have an Office of Student Financing. Mm-hmm. We also have, and through that entity, you can apply for different scholarships. So we have like the open scholarship. You're not hearing me? Oh boy.
I can hear you now.
Hearing me now? Okay, so I was saying that you can apply. We have a whole host of scholarships that we offer to students, and so you can apply for those scholarships. Some scholarships, obviously, have GPA requirements associated with them. So there's some persons after your first year, you can apply for scholarships. Now, one of the things that people may tell you is that, boy, you don't have to work so hard in the first year because it doesn't count towards your GPA.
Yeah.
But the truth of your degree GPA, but the truth of the matter is, in order to apply for a scholarship for your second to third year, you're going to have to present a GPA, and that GPA has to be at least a 3.0 in order for you to be in strong contention for a scholarship. And so we want people to excel, to be the best that they can. So that is in terms of student financing. One thing that I don't know if it was mentioned before, because I said I was a little bit offline, in terms of our pre-orientation, that being the 5th of August, was that mentioned, Danielle?
No, we haven't mentioned it as yet. I have a next
part
at the end.
Okay, so we have a pre-orientation the 5th of August, and then the general orientation for the UMONA campus it starts on August 30. So we actually start school September 7th. So some of us may have been wondering if we're going to have a little bit of a break. We are starting school September 7th. So the orientation is the okay. Okay, so yes, so pre-orientation is the 5th of August, orientation is the 30th of August. It starts that week of the 30th of August. And so yes, we're running full speed ahead to have you get on campus virtually or not, to really enjoy your first semester on the UWI Mona campus as a first-year student. So in terms of funding, I spoke about that in terms of scholarships, particularly for your second year and above. In terms of payments, there are, in the pre-orientation, you will learn about payment plans. So the bursary has a payment plan, so you could pay, let's say 25% upfront. What was that?
I was just adding on. So there is a little bit of a delay between when I speak and when you hear it. So just letting you know.
You hearing me?
But there's one question that we wanted to ask regarding, are there part-time
You hearing me, Danielle?
for students on campus?
No? Okay, I was talking about a payment plan that the bursary facilitates. So, you know, you could start the semester with 25%, and then each month. Yes.
All right, so that's okay. We're having a little bit of technical glitches from Dr. Gallimore, but that's completely fine. I'll just elaborate on what she was saying. So she was referring to the payment plan that is available from the bursary. So there's an online system similar to, so basically we have online classes on Orville, but there's also an online bursary system called BOS. And basically you go on and you can look for, you can submit a request for a payment plan. Given that you've paid down on a percentage of the university tuition, you can apply for this, and then it essentially splits the remainder of the tuition for that semester into, I think it's about 3 payments over the course of the semester. So as opposed to paying everything at the start, you can create a payment plan where it will be distributed across the semester after you pay down on a portion of it. So that is one option for how you can finance and fund your semester here at the campus, as well as there are many scholarships available from the Office of Student Financing. So again, all of that is online. If you guys need the link for it, just again, DM us on Instagram. Again, it's at the bottom here, or you can message in the WhatsApp groups. Also, I want to note that I sent Dr. James Williamson's email in the chat. So if you have any questions, if you have not received your acceptance letter, you have any questions regarding the acceptance process there, please email her. Like, we're giving you all the information so the FST freshers are completely fine for the start of this semester, right? We're giving you as much information as we can. There are so many students that are current students that are here and available to help you in any way that you would like. That is, you know, upstanding and whatnot. So we looked at tuition, scholarships, what kind of activities students can get involved in. Dr. Gallimore answered earlier about moving into halls, what classes online would be like. She also spoke to the tuition, scholarships, activities for students. Another question that came in was what kind of events does FST host for the students? I think a lot of that will be from my portfolio with the Guild Committee. We put on a lot of events for the students because we're basically enabling that student experience or enhancing that student experience. So from little events like Chill, which is one we did last year, a small social, just to kind of allow students to rest and relax. As you know, like academics is one side of it, but you're a whole person and you have whole needs. I can definitely tell you that for my team coming this year, we do have an increased focus on mental health.
and creating those kind of safe spaces, as my VP, Maya Buchanan Smith, would say. But definitely ensuring that we're increasing the opportunities that come to students and their ability to get involved with the UWI community as well as the wider Jamaican community. So of course, we'll have a session like speaking about our plans for the semester later on. But for now, the important dates to note are pre-orientation, which is coming up next month, early next month, August 5th, about that. And of course, orientation, full-on orientation now for the faculty and for all first years will be in the last week of August. And then school starts September 7th, as Dr. Gallimore would have just stated. So again, thank you all for coming out. This was just a short Q&A session to ensure that we give you an opportunity to ask your questions. We've also now given you the opportunity to email one of the associate deans. You can also email me, and I'll put my or one of my committee members can please put my email in the chat. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out, or you can message me on the Telegram group, or any of the committee members. Again, as we said, we've tried as best as possible to give you so many avenues to ask questions and have your questions be answered and heard. So thank you for coming out. We value you, we value your time, and we wish you all the best with the upcoming exams for CAPE and CSET. And again, look out for pre-orientation and orientation coming up next month, as well as the start of the semester on September 7th. All right, have a good day, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week, or weekend rather.